Hey there guys, it's Josh Ballalt, the RS Felon. Just coming in with an update video from my Hardcore Ironman. So, made a couple good gains. I'm doing a voiceover now, and here's how it happened. So, let's get started. As you can clearly see, I made a pretty decent bit of arrowheads. I mean, nothing too serious. Took about maybe 2 hours of making iron ores, which I had forgotten, man. This is why I'm the worst Hardcore Ironman. I'd totally forgotten that iron ore only has a 50% chance of a successful bar, but I mined a pretty decent bit, a little over 100 iron bars, made them into arrowheads, went and made the shafts from regular cherries, and then I went and farmed the feathers, and farming the feathers was by far the worst part. Got a couple combat levels out of it, but banking the chicken made it take way longer, because as a Hardcore Ironman, I wasn't just going to waste all that chicken, so I think it got me to 28 fletching. Couple thousand arrows, mostly iron, but I'm using bronze right now. There's me cooking all the chicken. Got straight to it. I didn't even run to the bank first. I just immediately started burning all the chicken up in the Lumbridge Cook-O-Matic, and moved along my way. Went ahead, and while I was in Lumbridge, I decided to go ahead and do the Restless Ghost, which got me from 17 to 19 prayer, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check the clip here. Restless Ghost quest. Yep, 19 prayer. Considering that other than that, I've only gotten my levels from burying regular bones. That's pretty significant. So I grabbed my arrows before I left Lumbridge and went and got a couple range levels. Got started on that grind. I was only 5 before I made all those arrows. And man, I forgot how bad it is picking them up. Went to Karamja to range monkeys for Slayer task. And like all good RuneScapers should do, whenever I spotted a dragon impling on Karamja, I immediately messaged UIM Verf on his UIM Karamja account. It's Karamja Only Iron Man. Went ahead and let him know that it was running around down there, and he immediately said on my way to come scoop it up. Told him I was a big fan of his because I absolutely love that series. It's kind of like the parallel universe of Swamp Boy. Finished up my task. Just ran around basically getting prey or killing monkeys. I had a little bit of GP from selling iron items to the store, and man, I struggled for several minutes about which pickaxe to buy. As you can see from this clip, I was even messaging my friends like, man, should I get Mithril or Addy? Mithril or Addy, I can afford the Adamant, but I'm just thinking I'm gonna go with Mithril. So in the end, I thought about it really hard, and as of my upgrade to bronze, I did decide to buy a Mithril pickaxe. So I'm very, very satisfied with it. Did a nice little slow-mo right here while I was equipping it, because I was very, very proud to finally have obtained it with my very little GP. I bet that clashed with the music, but that was me beatboxing to my slow-motion Mithril pickaxe equip. And as you can see here, man, it's literally 4 to 5 times faster than my bronze pickaxe was. So that was absolutely no problem grabbing the iron. So I'm on a couple more 100 iron ore, smelted them in the bars, doing it with a very slow way, going straight from there to basically Edgeville. I eventually figured out that I could run from Alcarid Mine straight to the furnace, smelt them, and then bank whatever I had, so that ended up being my best method. I'm the worst Hardcore Iron Man, so didn't think of that for a while. As you can see here, every time I made an iron item, I would run to the Grand Exchange. I'm sorry, wow, not on this account. I would run to the general store and price check it to make sure that I was getting the maximum amount of GP per ore. And I did find in the end that swords were the best GP per bar relative to what you were doing, up until I got to plate legs eventually. But at this point, since I am indeed, you will find out repeatedly, the worst Hardcore Iron Man, I did not think to actually try to sell the swords at the sword shop, which is more GP. That didn't occur to me for quite some time here. I actually caught on to it in a minute. Here I was just trolling some guy, and everybody started feeling bad for him because I called them all bots, and this one guy was like, look at my stats, and I said, yeah, you're definitely not a bot with those terrible stats, and everybody got mad at me, but I was just goofing around. So eventually I got the level for iron plate legs, did a price check, and it turned out that was slightly higher, or about even for every iron bar compared to the selling swords at the general store price. So I went ahead and switched to iron plate legs, and I still don't know how to really get good money. There we go, another smithing level. I can make my iron plate body from my clue scroll now. So I went down to the general store and decided I was going to sell the plate legs. Did a nice little price check on them, and it seemed satisfactory to me. So I went ahead and sold a few and did a hellacious amount of world hopping, as I'm prone to do when I'm selling these things to stores. I'm not looking up any guides or anything, so I'm not sure what the optimum GP way is for Iron Men, but obviously I'm waiting until I get high alchemy to really start cranking up the heat. Once I get Slayer tasks and have high alchemy, should be doing just fine, especially gargoyles. But right then you can see that suddenly I had the idea occur to me that, wait a minute, Horvik's armor shop over here buys and sells plate legs. Maybe they'll give me a better price for it. And so this was my introduction to the fact that if you sell things to a specific store that takes them other than a general store, you actually make a decent bit more GP. Sorry about that. So basically, I then started world hopping, selling to Horvik's iron shop, wondering how many GP I've wasted by not selling it to him or to the sword shop whenever I did figure this out. So I hopped around a whole lot and sold the plate legs for a much better price. And it was totally worth it, in my opinion. Ended up with, what, 6K right there or something, almost about 7K, which was a pretty massive improvement for my account because that put my cash stack at about 11K, which felt pretty cozy for me being a hardcore Iron Man, I'm not gonna lie. So, you already know, I don't know any other money-making methods really, and I'm not trying to look anything up or get any cheats. I mean, I'll ask a little basic question to people like, where's the best place for me to grab this? But as far as GP goes, I want to figure it out. So I went straight back to the iron mines, of course, and sat there mining, I think it was 112 iron, and excuse me. Here's another example of me being the worst hardcore Iron Man. I decided to go to Motherlode Mine to get coal once I had the level. I mean, I just figured that was the fastest way since most of my pay dirt would turn into it and I wouldn't have to run far to bank. I wouldn't have to wait on ores to respawn. Plus I got gold nuggets, eventually I can get Prospector. So here's how bad I am, man, and how spoiled I got on my main account. I totally forgot the ratio. Oh, by the way, whenever I went to go bank my, or wash off my first pay dirt, check that out, I ran into Sears, and I'm actually casual friends with him. He showed part of my video on his Twitch stream one time, so it was kind of cool just bumping into him. He was actually ref PKing with a Sears 2 account. But yeah, so I forgot that it's 2 coal ore to 1 iron ore for some reason, man, some fucking reason. I was thinking that it's 3 coal to 1 iron, so I was thinking I need to mine 336 coal for my 112 iron ore. So that's what I did, and now I've got extra coal left over in the bank. Basically took all that and went to go smith these steel bars right here. Had a great time in Falador, just kidding, running back and forth like an idiot. But for those who don't know, the best way to do this, the ratio, since it's 2 to 1, grab 9 iron ore and just fill up the rest of your inventory with coal. You'll have 1 left over at the end, and that's how you make 9 iron bars per inventory, steel bars. See, worst hardcore Iron Man. So I went and did some more price checking. I made a steel axe for myself, and once again, the sword seemed to be the best GP per bar, just a typical sword that I made. So that was it. Took that as my mission. Made a shit ton of swords, and then once again I decided to go to the actual store, and it turns out once again that the sword store in Varrock does indeed pay more for swords than the general store does. So basically I need to start finding out where every single item is sold at every single store in the game and going there instead of a general store. It'll add up over time. So I hopped about, I think it was 100 times, 104 times. I went through almost every single available Members World that I could before even realizing that I didn't have to go to a Members World to sell these damn swords. So there I was, hopping around. Took me quite a bit of time. I mean, nothing too bad, especially not compared to the future grinds. And to celebrate, I bought myself a Staff of Air because I knew that I needed to go ahead and get started on some magic levels. I think I had like level 12 magic at this point just from using some runes that I'd picked up. Oh yeah, check that out. Made myself a steel medium helm. And I started Rune Mysteries quest so that I could get some runes because I don't know a better way. Could probably kill druids or something, but before I went and did the quest, I had to, of course, price check the air talisman at the general store because I was going to drop trick the hell out of that if they would actually buy it. But 1 GP, I just went on with the quest and went ahead and finished it. Didn't take too long with absolutely 0 teleports, just a little walking around. But this was absolutely vital to my next mission, which is training possibly the worst skill in the game, rune crafting. There we go. Went straight to the mine as soon as I got done with the quest, and voila, sat there for not too terribly long. I mean, I think it took maybe 2 hours. I was goofing around and typing a lot, so I mined slightly over 1,000 pure S. I think it was 1,008 in the end. Yeah, 1,008 pure essence, and I was pretty satisfied with that. So, needless to say, what's my next step? Take off running straight for Falador immediately. And I was trying to remember exactly where the air altar is. You can see me right here. A lot of times they have a gray spot on the map where the altars are. I was looking, I was like, man, I don't remember where the hell this thing is. I'm about to have to hot cold with the talisman like what I used to do when I was 12, and then I realized I was standing right next to it. Worst hardcore Iron Man. No altar runners at the astral altar for me this time. So I went in with my very first inventory, and I was just thinking that I wanted to get to level 2 to make mine runes, and boom, immediately got level 2. So that was enough of that. No more air runes. So I decided to make mine runes, went from the bank, started cutting straight back for the air altar. Oh shit, whoops, wrong way. Go this way for the mind altar. Worst hardcore Iron Man ever. And I got there, of course. And I have to say that every single, like the first 10 inventories or so, I got a level every single time. It never failed. First time I skipped 2 actually. I went from level 2 to level 4. So in no time flat I had 14, which was very important to me because then I could make 2 mind runes. And to be honest, I didn't feel like continuing to rune craft right then. It's not that I'm getting bored of the grind. I just wanted to go get some more levels other than rune crafting. I had enough runes, so got about 700 minds. Didn't craft all 1,000 pure essence. I still have quite a few left, a few hundred. And immediately went to Varrock training on guards, mostly because I want seeds. And I remember that they drop potato and onion and cabbage low-level seeds, and that's what I wanted. So I did end up getting, enough of those. Ran out of fire runes here, as you can clearly see. Took me a second to realize it, so ran off to the shop, and I did actually in fact buy a bunch of fire runes because I was just ready to get practicing. Felt like a waste to use airstrike with all the mind runes I made, so I bought spent maybe 10k on fire runes, got a couple prayer levels, and I think I ended up, the last clip I have is 30 magic, but I'm pretty confident that I actually got 31 magic from this, and I'm very stoked about that because I have 4 law runes in the bank. Not really great on how to get more. I think I got those from, I don't even remember, from goblins or something, and that's a few Varrock teleports in my mind. So what did I do after that? I want to keep doing my rune crafting, so of course I went straight to the Draenor agility course because I should have done this the other way around. I wanted to get 20, maybe 30. I wanted to get at least 21 so I could use the GE shortcut to Edgeville. So I went ahead and started doing the agility course. I mean, as you can see, every time I finish one task, I just run straight to the next. I'm having an absolute blast doing this account, man. I never thought that I would enjoy an Iron Man, but this is so much fun and so rewarding. And whenever you get those levels, there we go, there's 20. When you get those levels, man, it just feels so good. So what do I do now that I got 20 agility? I bust a little dance move real quick, and that's enough of a break. Hardcore Iron Man got to work hard, so it's hard out here for a HCIM. Immediately start running for Alcarid. Take off, buddy. Boom. Didn't feel like running all the way up to the bank to grab 10 GP to pay the toll booth, so I had, I've got several hundred shrimp in my bank that are cooked from just grinding a low-level fishing, which is only like 21 or something, so I sold shrimp to the general store to get my 10 GP. Saved me a minute. I hopped one time, and there we go, baby, Alcarid. This has been one of the most useful places for my hardcore Iron Man career because of the simple fact of the mine, a mine ore, and go smelt it and throw it straight in the bank. Very useful, but they updated it at the beginning of this year, I found out. So there's no more coal there. That sucked, so motherload mine is enough for me. There's a couple of little obstacles that I did there, and sorry about that, little agility course runs there. And that was my very first one, full completion, so that's what I'm about to go back to do right now. I just wanted to edit down these several hours of footage that I had into this convenient little 13-minute video, and it took me 2 minutes to find the wave button again, but I'll get used to it because this is my video series now, so I'm making pretty decent gains. Bye.